Hi everyone, welcome back to Black Moon Astro. This is Meg. Today's topic is going to be Saturn's transit in the fourth house in Aquarius. When analyzing transits, I really like to dive deep into the archetypes of the planets that are transiting. If you want to understand Saturn more and Aquarius as archetypes, I would recommend you watch the video also on the link below called Saturn the Archetype. I go really in depth into Saturn because Saturn is one of the most complex, if not the most complex archetype in astrology. And so, for you to really understand how this is going to affect your life, I would recommend that you listen to that video because Saturn, together with the outer planets, starting from Jupiter all the way up to Pluto, have the most impactful influences on our lives. And the reason for this is because the transits of the planets that are closer to Earth, for example, Venus, Mars, Mercury, the Moon, only last for short periods of time. Mercury is about 2 weeks to a month, Mars is a month and a half, Venus would be about 3 weeks to 2 months, and the Moon is 2.5 days. Whereas the outer planets and the slower moving planets like Uranus, Neptune, Pluto, Saturn, they last, and Jupiter, they last for many years. Jupiter's transit and Saturn's transit right now have the strongest effect on us because of the current conjunction they are making in the sky. Jupiter's revolution is about 12 years, and Saturn's revolution is about 29.5 years. In each sign, Saturn stays for 2.5 years and Jupiter stays for a year. Pluto stays for 15 years, Neptune 13 years, and Uranus around 7 to 8 years. Given those facts, it's plain to see why the outer planets have much stronger influences on our lives. We feel the impact, the buildup, and the intensity for longer periods of time. Unlike Mercury, which would last you just a couple of weeks to a month, we feel it, but it doesn't make impactful changes in our lives. It's as simple as that. That's the concept behind it. Now, the entire chart is based on sine waves, which follows the path of the sun's revolution around Earth. It's ecliptic. So when you look at the chart, when the sun rises, the rays of the sun are shining on Cancer and Leo, the summertime. Cancer is at the bottom of the chart on the nadir or the IC. And Saturn's natural house, which is Capricorn's natural house, is in the 10th house, across from Cancer, the 4th house. That is at the top of the chart on the MC, at the point where the sun sets on the sine wave as it descends on the horizon, which on the sine wave, based on the horizon, shows the path of the sun descending below towards the nadir, where the house of Cancer is, but the actual sun itself is at the bottom of the chart, shining its rays on the 10th house, where Saturn, Capricorn's natural house, is at the top. So that's how we interpret it. Everything, when the sun sets, it sets where Saturn lies. Saturn's natural house, the 10th house, Capricorn. That's where the word set came from too. If you study the etymology, there are so many things to learn. Saturn, many words come from Saturn. For instance, Satan. And Satan comes from the word Saturn because, Saturn represents the physical and material manifestation on this planet. It is also known as the Grim Reaper, the Greater Malefic, for many reasons I've described in the video I told you to watch earlier. Saturn also devours in the Greek and Roman mythology. Greek is Kronos, the crown. Saturn in the Roman mythology devoured all its children. Words like atom, in In Egypt, they called it atum. All is atum because that is the building block of life. We are all made up of atoms, and Saturn rules the matrix, the structures that govern the physical plane. As Saturn makes its revolution all the way across and it descends down to the fourth house, the house of Cancer, on the nadir at the bottom of the chart, it's quite an interesting placement because Saturn at the top rules the 10th house, which is also the father. And at the bottom is the mother, the natural house of the mother, which is ruled by the moon. Saturn is the planet of karma, and the moon, as it revolves around Earth, represents the karmic cycles of life. So when Saturn, the father, comes into the house of the mother, it comes in and makes changes, refines the house in a very father like manner. No nonsense way. Fix the problems immediately. I see problems. I'm going to show you what the problem is in your home, in the structure of your home. Perhaps also problems you have with your mother or issues you've had from childhood, because the fourth house also represents your childhood. Anything that involves your upbringing, childhood experiences. If we go into esoteric astrology, it also represents your past life, karmic obligations from the past life, and the karma that the moon, as it makes its cycle, represents in your life. So all these things come up, and they are front and center during Saturn's transit. And it is a very intense transit, like I've said, with Jupiter there expanding Saturn's effect. You're going to not be able to ignore whatever happens during this transit in your fourth house. Just like what happened in your third house in the last 2.5 years, and before that, 5 years ago in your second house, and then 7.5 years ago in your first house. Like I've said, Saturn rules karma, and the natural ruler of the fourth house, which is the moon, rules the karmic cycles of life. The thing is, whenever we hear the word karma, we get scared. We feel fear, which ironically, also fear is ruled by Saturn. But the thing is, with Saturn being the planet that also represents Senex in the Jungian archetype, which is the old and wise man, brings to us a lot of lessons that we need to learn. So in life, we are being taught by Saturn that not everything comes easy. And the moon, the ruler of the fourth house, is showing us that we must continue our lives, our karmic obligations must go on, and there are certain things that we have to accept, the repercussions of our decisions and our actions. We carry them with us throughout several lifetimes or within this lifetime as the moon makes its revolution around the earth. Saturn comes in and shows us basically the summary of what has transpired in that particular house and what we need to accept and change. Saturn is principled. It is the father. It is the CEO. Saturn likes to fix things. So whenever Saturn touches a part of your chart, it fixes that part of your chart. It refines it. It gets rid of all the things that don't serve that aspect of your life and shows you a better way, which requires discipline, attention, and hard work. Therefore, we need not fear Saturn's presence in our lives. This is a transit of Saturn. Saturn will always be transiting a part of your chart. Saturn is always there. Without Saturn, the entire world we live in will not exist. Nothing material will be here. We won't be here. We will just be spirit. So this physical plane is ruled by Saturn, and as it makes its revolution around your chart, it's going to spring clean each and every house in different aspects of your life. We are here to grow and we are here to learn and to evolve. And Saturn plays the biggest role in our evolution. With Saturn in Aquarius, since Aquarius rules technology and electricity, and the fourth house rules your home, what can happen is Saturn is going to bring up issues with possible electrical appliances in your house, computers, anything that has to do with electricity or technology. So maybe something will break in your house and you're going to have to replace it with a robot, like that robot for cleaning or the robot for cooking, or maybe an Alexa, or because Aquarius also rules original and innovative ideas, it could give you new and innovative ways of fixing the house. Maybe you will have a new project and you can't figure out how to go about it. Then Saturn in Aquarius is going to give you creative ways to make this project happen, or even strange ways or unusual ways, because Aquarius also rules that. So, all these things, apart from what I've already said, which could bring up issues with your mother, your childhood, issues, like I said, with the home, karmic obligations that you need to fulfill, all of these things can come up during this transit for the next 2.5 years. On your personal chart, look at the exact degree of your Saturn on your natal chart and watch for when Saturn crosses that exact degree. So if it's at 2 degrees, then when Saturn reaches 2 degrees, after that is the release. And that's when you're going to see the rewards of all the hard work you've put in. If you're at 15 degrees, then you have to wait a little longer because Saturn stays for 2.5 years in each sign. So this is going to be the transit in your life for the next 2.5 years. All right, I guess that's it for today. If you like my content, please don't forget to like and subscribe below. Otherwise, I'll see you next time. Thank you very much for watching.